chosen ones. What they're trying to do to you is not just a mistake, it's a death wish. The forces they're playing with are ancient, powerful, and beyond their control. You think they can take you down? No. The power of righteousness is a force they can't comprehend, and it will destroy anyone who dares to stand in its way. God's got your back. They don't know it yet, but their time is running out. Get ready, because the truth is about to hit them like a storm. They think they can break you. Let them try. Every move against you seals their fate. The universe has no tolerance for their kind, those who plot in the shadows and strike in cowardice. They call this a game, but they've miscalculated. The cost of their arrogance is devastation. They're dealing with powers they cannot grasp, forces that see their schemes and laugh at their insignificance. What they unleash will not be stopped. What rises in you will consume everything they've built on lies. You are not some passive spectator to their chaos. You are the storm they never saw coming. When their plans crumble, it won't be coincidence. When their voices falter, it won't be luck. Justice moves through you like wildfire, unrelenting, untamed, and absolute. The wicked never anticipate what happens when their sins come home to roost. But you've seen it before. History is littered with the wreckage of those who underestimated the unyielding. Let their whispers fill the air. Let them conspire in vain. Their downfall is written, their retribution unstoppable. You carry something they will never possess, purpose forged in fire, an unbreakable resolve. Their ruin is not a question of if, but when, and when it comes, it will leave no doubt about why. Drop a comment, "I walk with ancient power," if you trust the forces they can't comprehend. The clash between light and darkness is ancient, older than the stones beneath your feet. It is written in the earth and sky, the ceaseless rhythm of creation and destruction. Since time began, there have been those who sought to rise above righteousness through deceit, corruption, and force. And just as surely, there have always been those who carried the flame of unshakable truth, wielding it like a blade against the darkness. You are not here by accident. The forces that align with you are older than empires, more enduring than monuments. Like Excalibur in the hands of the worthy, your authority is not borrowed. It is earned and unassailable. It is forged in conviction and sharpened by trials that cowards would never dare face. Your strength is not in the tools you wield, but in the immutable power of what you represent. Darkness has no defense against this, no refuge from its reckoning. They've tried before. Armies have marched, tyrants have ruled, and traitors have whispered in the dark corners of history. None succeeded, none will succeed now. The fire you carry is eternal. It doesn't flicker, it doesn't fail, it consumes. You are not alone, and you never have been. Surrounding you is an unseen army, forces that operate beyond the scope of human senses, yet hold power over the tides of existence. These are your spiritual warriors, your ancestors, your protectors. They move in silence but strike with precision, guiding you through chaos, shielding you from unseen dangers, and elevating you when the world tries to drag you down. They don't rest, they don't falter. Their loyalty is unbreakable because their purpose is tied to your triumph. This is not sentiment, it's law. Just as storms answer to the natural order, so do these forces respond to the needs of those they protect. Your path is forged with their vigilance, their strength, and their will. When you feel the weight of the battle, know that every burden you carry is shared by those who've walked before you, those who've conquered trials greater than this moment. Their victories flow through your veins, and their wisdom whispers in your heart. There is no force greater than divine alignment. When your will aligns with purpose, the universe doesn't just move, it bows. The power you carry is not a fleeting spark, it's an unquenchable fire fueled by the eternal source. Like King Solomon, who ruled with wisdom that transcended human comprehension, you have access to guidance and insight that cuts through deception and reveals truth. The odds mean nothing when divine forces stand behind you. Walls crumble, storms dissipate, and even time itself bends when you command through alignment with higher purpose. Manifestation is not some abstract idea. It is the raw ability to call forth what is meant for you and destroy what seeks to block your way. You don't negotiate with obstacles, you dismantle them with precision and power. The forces working in your favor are not passive. They intervene with thunderous certainty, making a way where none existed. They don't hesitate, and neither should you. Those who doubt you will feel the weight of their mistake. This isn't just personal strength, it's divine collaboration. You are not asking for permission to succeed. You are taking what is already destined, unapologetically, because what is aligned with you cannot be taken or denied. The darkness may surround you, but it cannot consume you. It may twist, claw, and strike, but the light you carry is unshaken. This is not a battle of equals. The light is unyielding, undiminished by shadows, and its presence alone exposes the frailty of the dark. The forces of darkness operate through fear, deception, and chaos because they have no foundation. They cannot withstand truth, and they cannot escape justice. Their strength is illusion. Their power collapses under the weight of what is righteous. This war has played out before, from the fall of Titans to the rise of Olympians, where justice triumphed because it aligned with the unassailable order of truth. The same forces drive your path now. You are not merely defending, you are advancing. Every action you take in alignment with light destroys the grip of darkness. They can persist, but they cannot prevail. Their persistence is the desperation of those who know their end is certain. Evil is its own executioner. The darkness thrives on deception, but every lie it tells weakens its foundation. It promises power, but its price is self-destruction. Those who align themselves with malice and manipulation do not just battle against the righteous. They battle against the natural laws of existence. The harder they fight, the more they unravel, consumed by their own schemes. Like the story of the Trojan horse, their cleverest plans inevitably betray them. What they build to conquer becomes their undoing. The righteous do not need to strike first, for the downfall of the wicked is written into their every act. Their thirst for control blinds them to the cracks forming beneath their feet. Every betrayal, every manipulation, every act of cruelty is a noose tightening around their necks. The forces they summon to destroy others are what destroy them. Their arrogance blinds them to this truth. Darkness is inherently unsustainable. It feeds on itself until nothing remains. Let them rage, let them plot. Their destruction is inevitable because evil cannot coexist with order or truth. When they lash out at you, they carve their own epitaph. Their ruin isn't coming, it's already here, built brick by their own hands. When they strike at you, they are not simply attacking, they are provoking forces far beyond their comprehension. To challenge what is sacred is to call down fire upon themselves. The power of righteousness is not passive. It is an inferno that devours everything that dares to oppose it. Those who move against the chosen ones awaken a divine justice that does not negotiate, does not hesitate, and leaves no corner untouched. They are not fighting you. They are fighting a force older than time itself. The arrogance of those who disrespect sacred power is their downfall. Like Icarus, who defied natural law, they soar on wings of hubris, thinking they can outmaneuver truth. But the higher they climb, the harsher their fall. The forces they dismiss as myths or abstractions are real, unrelenting, and precise. Their ignorance doesn't shield them, it accelerates their demise. Sacred power is not something to manipulate or challenge. It is a force that reshapes the world, restoring balance with the raw, unstoppable might of justice. Their attempts to control or extinguish it are futile. The fire of righteousness burns hotter with every act of defiance, and when it consumes them, it will leave only ashes as a warning. Divine retribution does not hesitate, and it never misses its mark. When the righteous are wronged, the forces of justice move with precision, striking down deceit and arrogance with the fury of ages. The ancient Furies, relentless in their pursuit, served as eternal guardians of balance, ensuring that those who transgressed against truth and honor paid the price in full. To wrong the chosen ones is to call forth these forces, unstoppable, impartial, and absolute. Those who defy the natural laws of righteousness may think they can escape, but time is not their ally. Every step they take away from their misdeeds only draws them closer to their judgment. Like Zeus wielding his thunderbolts against the insolent, divine law does not negotiate, and its punishment is swift and severe. There is no hiding from retribution. The wrongs they commit echo louder than their words of denial, drawing justice to them like lightning to a rod. This is not vengeance, it is restoration. The scales will balance because they must, and those who have defied the sacred order will bear the weight of their choices. Retribution is not delayed, it is patient. When it strikes, it leaves no doubt and no escape. To stand against divine will is to invite annihilation. Those who think they can rewrite destiny or defy what is ordained are not battling you. They are waging war against forces that no mortal can comprehend. Like Pharaoh, who hardened his heart against divine command, their defiance will not change the course of purpose, but will instead accelerate their own destruction. The will of the divine does not bend, and it does not negotiate. It crushes all opposition under its weight. The threads of destiny are unbreakable. Even the gods of old understood this truth. Forces greater than themselves dictated the course of fate, and any attempt to alter it was met with swift, merciless consequences. Those who challenge what is meant to be are not just arrogant, they are doomed. Their rebellion does not change the outcome, it only ensures their suffering. You are aligned with a purpose that cannot be stopped, a will that transcends all obstacles. Their resistance, their schemes, their attempts to block your path are futile gestures against the inevitable. Divine will does not wait for their understanding or consent. It moves, it strikes, and it overwhelms. Those who defy it will not endure. Their downfall is certain, their resistance meaningless. Here's to you, the chosen one, the lone wolf they couldn't tame, the fire they couldn't extinguish. They tried to silence you, to shrink you, to crush your light, but you are the inferno that burns brighter under pressure. Rules don't apply to you, limits don't exist. Your light doesn't dim, it blinds. Your storm doesn't pass, it tears down walls, unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable. While they chase shadows, you carve your own path, turning pain into purpose, ruin into resurrection. Every scar tells a story of triumph they'll never understand. You don't move for applause or validation. You move because it's written in your soul. It's who you are. For those like you, there's the Obsidian Inner Order, the ultimate nexus for chosen ones, a revolution of soul and spirit. Weekly group calls with over 450 chosen ones are recorded and available anytime for your enlightenment. Our private Discord is not just active, it's alive, buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy. For you romantics out there, chosen singles is where soulmates meet under cosmic alignments, not cheap pickup lines. And if that's not enough, Star Chamber members unlock exclusive interviews with targeted individuals who face the darkest trials and survive to tell the tale. Plus, our video specials are too bold, too raw, and too spicy for YouTube. This isn't just a community, it's a revolution. The link is in the description. If you're ready, step up. If you're worthy, you'll know where to find us. Malice is a blade with no hilt, and those who wield it inevitably destroy themselves. Like Macbeth, who sank into darkness and tore his world apart, those who act in defiance of divine will are digging their own graves with every move. Evil does not grant power, it corrodes it. It lures with promises of control, but delivers chaos and ruin. Those who plot against the chosen ones are not building a future, they are sealing their doom. The path of malice does not end in triumph, it ends in oblivion. Karma is not an abstract idea, it is law. Like Cain, whose act of jealousy and violence marked him forever, those who interfere with the righteous will bear the scars of their choices for eternity. Their actions ripple outward, but those ripples always return. The forces of the universe are unyielding. They will deliver consequences as certain as the rising sun. No evil action escapes the scales of justice. Every act of harm brings a reckoning, and that reckoning spares no one. When they come for you, know this: their steps are already numbered. Their malice does not wound you, it devours them. The universe remembers, and justice never forgets. Their destruction is already written. Righteousness is not passive. It is a force that reshapes reality. It is sharper than steel, mightier than fire, and more enduring than stone. The ancient Egyptians understood this truth through Ma'at, the divine balance that held the universe together. To walk in righteousness is to align yourself with the very fabric of existence, becoming a vessel through which order triumphs over chaos. It is not simply a virtue, it is a power that breaks strongholds, restores balance, and demands the submission of all falsehoods. When you act in righteousness, you summon divine favor that cannot be earned through ambition or force. Like King David, whose heart aligned with divine purpose despite his imperfections, you draw the attention and blessings of forces far beyond human comprehension. Righteousness is a magnet for intervention. It multiplies strength, opens doors, and bends the odds in your favor. Even when the world is against you, righteousness ensures that you cannot fail. Those who underestimate this power will learn too late that righteousness does not falter. It commands, it transforms, and it conquers. No weapon, no scheme, no act of malice can overcome it. When you stand in alignment with this force, the universe itself moves to ensure your victory. Righteousness is your armor, unbreakable, unyielding, and forged by forces that no darkness can penetrate. When evil rises against you, it finds nothing to grip, nothing to break. The more they strike, the more their efforts fail, their weapons dulled against the shield of your integrity. This is not a metaphor, but a reality. Righteousness is a force that deflects malice and turns back the arrows of deceit and corruption. It is not passive protection, but an active barrier that makes the schemes of darkness useless. The armor of God is not just ancient wisdom, it is truth in action. Righteousness is not a mere concept, it is the sword and shield that defend you against unseen forces working to undermine you. When you wear it, nothing can touch you, because it is empowered by laws greater than any mortal defiance. It transforms vulnerability into strength, making you untouchable in the face of chaos. Those who attempt to harm the righteous will find themselves undone by their own efforts. Their malice rebounds, their schemes unravel, and their weapons shatter before they can land a blow. This is the power of righteousness. It doesn't just protect, it dismantles anything that dares to oppose it. Righteousness is not confined to the individual. It radiates outward, shaping the world in ways unseen but undeniable. Every action taken in alignment with truth and justice sets off a chain reaction that transcends boundaries. Like the bodhisattvas of Buddhist lore, whose enlightenment uplifts all beings, your commitment to righteousness transforms the lives of those around you. It strengthens, heals, and builds, creating ripples of purpose that move through families, communities, and generations. When you act righteously, you do not act alone. The energy you release resonates, connecting you to others who share your purpose and pulling them toward their own strength. It is not just a personal victory, it is a collective awakening. The story of Mother Teresa reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, righteousness has the power to elevate entire communities, bringing light to places long overshadowed by despair. The effects of righteousness cannot be undone. They grow stronger, outpacing the reach of any harm or malice. Those aligned with this power leave a legacy of transformation, whether they see it or not. Your actions matter. When you move in righteousness, the entire world is shifted, and no force can reverse that change. The universe does not forget. Every act, every word, every intention ripples outward, only to return with amplified force. This is not speculation, it is law. Those who sow destruction, deceit, and malice against the righteous are not just throwing stones into the void. They are setting traps for themselves. Like Judas Iscariot, whose betrayal sealed his own doom, their actions are not isolated. They are part of a cycle that ends in their ruin. Karma is relentless. What they send out will find them, and when it does, it will not knock gently. This is the law of return. Negative energy does not dissolve, it rebounds. The harm they inflict is a seed, and the harvest is destruction. When they strike against the righteous, they awaken a force that amplifies and redirects their malice back to its source. Their plans will fail, their lies will unravel, and the weight of their actions will crush them under their own schemes. You need not act in vengeance, for cosmic justice moves with precision and certainty. Their reckoning is inevitable, their downfall unavoidable. Righteousness ensures balance, and the balance demands payment in full. What they give is what they will receive, multiplied beyond measure. Energy is currency, and the universe never miscalculates. What you give is what you will receive, pressed down, shaken together, and returned in full measure. This is not a lesson, but a law, older than kingdoms, and written into the fabric of existence. In Egyptian mythology, Ma'at held the scales, weighing the hearts of those who disrupted order. The weight of their deeds determined their fate. The same truth holds now. Every action, every thought, every intention tips the scales, and the balance is always restored. When malice is sent out, it does not vanish into nothingness. It takes root and grows, its fruits bitter and inescapable. Those who harm the righteous are planting their own undoing. The energy they release into the world will find its way back, not diluted, but magnified. Their schemes will collapse, their alliances will crumble, and the scales they sought to tip will slam down with unrelenting force. You do not need to tilt the balance. It moves on its own. The forces that protect order will always demand payment. They are impartial, incorruptible, and absolute. What they give out in harm, they will receive in ruin. The exchange is inevitable, and the weight of their actions will bury them. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. To forgive is to sever the chains of resentment and rise above the weight of hatred, freeing yourself from the grip of those who sought to harm you. Gandhi's words ring true. Only the strong can forgive, because forgiveness requires mastery over emotions that would otherwise consume you. It is not surrender, it is reclaiming power. When you forgive, you remove their ability to control your thoughts, your energy, your life. Forgiveness clears your path, but it does not erase judgment. Divine justice is unshaken by human forgiveness. Those who defy righteousness will still answer for their actions, just as Ananias and Sapphira faced their reckoning, untouched by mortal mercy. Forgiveness does not absolve their wrongdoing. It shifts the burden of vengeance away from your shoulders and leaves them exposed to a higher authority. The scales of justice will balance, and their deeds will be weighed. Forgiveness does not shield them from divine law. It ensures that you remain untangled as justice strikes with precision. You are not responsible for their judgment. Release them. Let go. But know this: their actions are not forgotten, and the consequences they face are inevitable. Divine will cannot be stopped. It moves with precision, unaffected by schemes, delays, or defiance. Those who plot against the righteous are not disrupting the plan, they are sealing their own defeat. Like Aesop's tortoise, divine purpose is steady and unyielding, its timing perfect, and its victory certain. Every obstacle they build becomes another instrument in their failure. Every delay they cause only strengthens the outcome. Their resistance is not a challenge, it is fuel for the inevitable. Even when malice surrounds you, trust in the force that governs justice. The story of Job stands as proof. His suffering was not the end, but the refinement. The trials sent to break him became the platform for his reward, because divine justice never forgets. Those who move against you are not halting progress. They are placing themselves in opposition to forces far beyond their understanding. The plan is unshakable, the outcome undeniable. You do not need to rush or retaliate. Trust the will that is working in your favor. What is meant for you will arrive, no matter how fiercely others try to block it. Divine will is patient but unstoppable, and those who oppose it will fall every time. The battle you face is not just physical, it is a clash of unseen forces. You are surrounded by powers greater than anything visible, just as the samurai believed their ancestors stood guard over them in silence. The chosen ones walk with an invisible shield, a divine light that deflects harm before it can touch them. Even in the fiercest attacks, this protection does not falter. It absorbs the blow and turns it into strength, fortifying you for what lies ahead. The darkness may strike, but it cannot penetrate the armor that surrounds you. Your light is not ordinary. It is the unquenchable flame of the righteous, burning brighter with every challenge. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. These words are not mere scripture. They are the reality of your existence. Like Hercules, who stood unbroken with divine aid, you are upheld by forces that darkness cannot endure. With each assault, the power that shields you grows stronger, and the weapons formed against you are rendered useless. Let the shadows rage, they are powerless against the light. You do not fight alone, and your victory is not uncertain. The forces that surround you ensure that no matter how relentless the attack, you remain untouchable and unstoppable. You are unstoppable. Like Atlas holding the heavens, you carry the weight not because it is easy, but because it is yours to bear. The trials you face are not meant to break you. They are the forge that sharpens your strength and refines your purpose. Those who walk in righteousness are not victims of circumstance. They are victors in waiting, supported by forces greater than any opposition. Your victory is inevitable because it is written into the very fabric of existence. Every step you take in alignment with divine purpose dismantles the plans of those who seek to harm you. Their schemes will falter, their weapons will fail, and their strength will crumble before the power that surrounds you. The righteous are not merely protected, they are empowered, uplifted, and guided by an unbreakable source. Nothing can defeat those whose path is set in truth. Now is your time to rise. Share your story, not as a plea for recognition, but as a testament to the power of perseverance and the certainty of justice. Let your voice inspire others to see their own strength and walk their own path of purpose. You are proof that the righteous will always prevail. Tell your truth boldly, for the world needs to hear it.